And we are on. Welcome, everybody. August the 2nd, oh my goodness, 2016, to Sexually Speaking with Keisha Clark, myself, and my amazing co-host, Rhonda Burns. Hello, Rhonda.
Hello, Keisha. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Ooh, happy Tuesday to ya.
How you doing?
We've already started, yeah. If this is your first time joining us or the first time landing on one of our shows, welcome and thank you. And oh my goodness, if you're in the show live, please know that you can actually scroll your mouse onto the screen, and when you do, along the bottom portion of your screen, there should be a little bar of options that come up, and two of those options would be chat and Q&A. If you want to communicate with us, ask a question, submit something, or if you would like to bring your question on air live, we can actually do that. Just let us know by one of those methods. You can actually select to send your question to one of us directly or to everyone in general. So we welcome your questions. Thank you so much for coming to play. If you're watching the replay, if you're watching this as a video on our YouTube channel and a question comes up for you, you can absolutely also let us know what you think or what you're curious about. And the email to send that to is conversationswithkr@gmail.com. And that will be somewhere in this, the text of copy down beneath this video, as well as if you are on our guest list in the emails. And if you're not on our guest list, there is definitely a link in the video, in the text below, to click on to get yourself on the guest list. And that just puts you in the loop so that you get the link to join us live every week. You get the replay before anybody else does, and you get to play with us on some of our special offerings and other adventures that we like to offer and play with and create and all of that. So I'm going to shut up for a minute, because if you don't know either one of us, I'm Keisha, like I said, and I'm going to let Miss Rhonda Burns tell you a little bit about herself.
My body's so happy. She's just like, she can't sit still. So I'm going to choose to stay still for the sake of us being here. Thank you so much. Good morning, Miss Keisha. I'm so grateful to get to play with you. And hey, everybody signing on. It's so good to see all you guys. Oh my goodness. Who the heck am I? Well, it changes day to day. But for all intents and purposes, I consider myself a success catalyst. I am really good at playing with people and evoking their greatness and their magic. So there's some alchemy in there. There's some catalyzation It's super fun. But I am a coach. I'm a facilitator. I'm a single mom. I'm a business owner. I'm a radio show host and producer. And I'm just a big ass playmate. Like, I love to play because I know that playing and laughing changes everything so much faster. So that's me in a nutshell. And I do have a radio show every Wednesday morning on A2Zen.fm called Potency is My Game. And I have been resisting tomorrow's topic. So today's conversation, I know, is going to change that stuff up. So I'm so grateful. So tell us who you are, Keisha. Tell everybody who you are.
Ooh, what a beautiful nutshell that was. Thank you, my dear.
I like pretty nuts.
We like pretty nuts. Yes, we do. Pretty yummy nuts. Because this is Sexually Speaking, of course, where we are celebrating all things sex and the sex of everything. And that is a part of what I also weave into the work that I do. Essentially, the umbrella category, I would say, is I'm an intuitive medium, body worker, and facilitator with many of the clairs, clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, all that. And I've just begun these last few years to bring all of that together in doing my own sort of thing that I do. And it is basically facilitation to bring up wherever we're trying to make a lie true for us, change it, and create our life in a way that actually works for us. So I am also a radio show host on A2Zen.fm and a producer as well. And my show on A2Zen airs live on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's called Living Well, and well is spelled W-E-A-L, where we are celebrating and exploring the willingness to embody abundant living, which kind of goes with Sexually Speaking. It's tandem, you know, and Potency is My Game, maybe has nothing to do with sex and sexual, all of that kind of yumminess. So if you want to play with us for free in other ways, the radio shows are a great way to do that. We also have a chat feature on A2Zen. there's a hair in my eye. We have a chat feature on A2Zen, and you can join us live during those shows as well, which is one of the things that I love about the way we get to create our shows, is so that you guys can all be participating with us. We're all co-creating this conversation together. And so to find out more about Sexually Speaking, you can actually read a little bit of our information on the channel and the details below. And what we're going to do is jump into this week's topic, which is, what if your life could be your lover?
What? I saw that, Keisha, and I was like, oh, it was bubbling good. So tell us about it.
Well, where this came up, right, is just a number of days ago, we were working together. Rhonda and I get to work together quite a bit, and we also are close enough in proximity that we get to trade body work and work in hands-on as well. And we had just had this day of yummy, amazing body processes and clearings, and we were getting these what we call downloads of just all of these awarenesses and new information, and oh my gosh, I never seen it that way before. We love to shift perspective and get to a different place to be able to see our lives and see the world. And we were coming to sort of the end of our day doing this, and I was just sort of laid out on this chair in bliss, and I just had this, like, there was this amazing, it really was a blissfulness and a peacefulness and a sense of really being present and having the yumminess. And I just had this question come in of like, I love my life, and what if this could be what it's all like? What if my whole life could be my lover? Because there was that yummy, juicy, really a lot of the energies that we identify as sexual. And if, for those of you who haven't played with us before, Rhonda and I both talk about and play with the energies of sex as including the physical aspects and behaviors, and the so much more that the energies of sex actually are, that we're aware of, and many of us are aware of, that we really don't get to play with or talk about or celebrate or express in the conventional sort of thing. And that's sort of where the unconventional conversations to unfuck our lives came from, is how many of the ways do we try to twist those energies or call them something else or apply them in a different way that's safe or publicly acceptable, rather than just enjoying the yumminess and the juiciness and the awesomeness of what those energies are and can be. So Rhonda, what's going on for you?
Well, I wanted to preempt before you went further. So after we'd worked together and did this beautiful session, and we were both spacious and we were just wide fucking open, and we were playing with how fast we are. And by that, I mean a lot of ways, but I mean our awareness, our intuition, our knowing, our ask, and then the receiving of what we've asked for. Like, we are so fast, and we acknowledged it more that day. And at the end of that session, I said something to the effect of, and like, what would it be like if we actually were willing to claim, own, and acknowledge the speed at which we ask and receive, and how can everything come to us so much faster? And then you said something to the effect of like, I wonder what we're going to talk about this week. And I mean, then the next thing out of your mouth was that you just shared. And I turned and I looked at her like this. She was sitting right back over there. And I was like, there you go. It was like that. So in tacking on to our tagline of unconventional conversations to unfuck your life, we have unconventional conversations every single day. And the beauty and the magic of the sex of that is that no matter what comes out of our mouth, it's always weaving this gorgeous tapestry, and the symphony just comes about, and you never know where it's coming from, but it's just crazy. So I just wanted to honor that because that was so cool.
It was cool.
And,
it was.
And I want more of that.
Me too. Yeah. And so that's the questions we were playing with this week for the show were, what is our life to each of us? What are we letting our life be for us? And this is a huge topic, so I in no way expect us to have, some sort of completion with it today. This is really about just sort of tweaking those erogenous zones, if you will, and starting to get what do we know and what are we aware of to bubble for us. And one of the things that we kind of started to play with that day was, how are we creating our lives? Are we creating our lives in a way that actually turns us on, like turns on our spirit, lights us up, and brings us that that zest and that zeal and that vitality and that vibrancy? And then are we creating a life that also turns our bodies on and lets our bodies, just allows rather our bodies to express in the amazing way that our bodies can actually be and co-create with us? And if none of you have ever heard us talk about, if this is, again, your first time playing with us, and this is kind of a foreign concept for you in terms of what your body is actually a part of creation, please definitely watch some of the other episodes, listen to our shows, and if you have questions, again, please let us know. We do have a number of episodes that we are talking about bodies, the wisdom of bodies, the consciousness of bodies, the tenacity of bodies, and our body's ability to actually be an active co-creator in our lives if we're willing to include them. So are we creating a life that turns us on, turns our bodies on? And what would it be like to live from that energy?
Yeah. So hang on. So Eleanor says she seems to go towards comfort more than anything with awareness and food. Yeah. You're the only one, Sweet Pea. So cool.
Yeah. So I wonder, what do we know about food that there is actually, like, okay, so let's look at nutrient value. For some reason that word just popped in.
Cool.
Let's see. And Lily's going to chime in too.
Yeah.
Nutrient value. What is that? What comes up when we say nutrient value for you guys? And Rhonda, what is that?
That when you say that, I get basic necessity. So, okay, hang on. So you percolate on that. So in terms of today's topic, making life your lover, having a love affair with your life, whatever we're calling it.
What is that energy?
Wow, that is so interesting. Like, it's really moving. So let's just start here. Everything that brings up, everything that is, everything that we're tapped into, everywhere we're going with that, everywhere we're trying to figure it out, we're just going to take a deep breath in. We're going to blow it out. We're going to let it go. We're going to create some space, kind of dust it around, move it so we have a blank space. Okay, so truth, what is that? So self-care. So, okay, here's where I want to go. So tying in today's topic, have we actually individually identified what we truly would like our life to be like? And I know for me, I have, and I'm continuously revamping it and tweaking it and changing it. And so if my life isn't showing up the way I would like it to, which is the energies of voluptuousness and elegance and ease and joy, all the things that I've identified as targets for myself that are priorities for me, they're not showing up, then I have to actually look at what actions I've been taking or not taking, what type of self-care I have been doing or haven't, what I'm doing with my food intake, right? So going to what Eleanor's talking about, I have to look at what I'm actually doing and being. And if it's not in alignment with what I've been asking for, look at the result, right? Look at the outcome of what that. So I have to kind of be really honest, I'm really honest with myself, is like, all right, girlfriend, either you want what you're asking for or you don't, but that behavior is not going to get you what you desire. And I just clear the points of view I have about it. And then I ask for the ease in changing it, right? So she just said, gotcha. So does that help? Hopefully that fills in a little bit about priorities and asking and receiving. And what's the value of eating food that you're not having a love affair with, right? Are you putting just ho-hos in your mouth and they don't taste phenomenally orgasmic? Like, what's the point, right? So, okay. Yeah, she got it. Cool.
That was, so there's kind of a metaphorish thing there that was landing for me of how many choices are we making that are sort of the have-tos because we've bought that, well, this is how we have to do it, rather than making the choices from like, okay, what would be fun and what would be yummy, and am I willing to allow myself to explore what that could be for me? Mm-hmm. So what is all of the all of these inventions that we have actually bought and bought into? This is how you do your life. This is how you go to school, you graduate, you make good grades, you get a good job, and there's nothing wrong with choosing that. What I'm curious about is how many of us have been trying to choose that and our lives are disasters or some variation of a disaster or have been. And by disaster, your life can be a quiet disaster, a noisy disaster,
a subtle disaster.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like all up there in the 9 o'clock news to be a disaster, right? Your life
just took it off.
Right?
Sorry, I just went to my redneck roots.
Yeah. It takes all kinds. And so, this, I think part of what we might be perceiving here is this conflictual universe that gets created when we are trying to create based on the choices we've been told we're supposed to choose. And is that exciting? If you meet someone and they try to tell you how you're going to have the relationship with them, does that leave very much room to play or have fun or be curious or really get to know them? Like, how much do you get to know a person who is telling you how they want you to be with them?
Yeah, it's all their projections and expectations. And then our human natural response to that is usually like either this or this or this, or it's resistance, right? So
right.
It's constant like pushing against, which doesn't work.
Exactly.
It
So
doesn't feel good.
So with our life being our lover, like the possibilities. So first of all, okay, this is interesting. So what do you define as a lover? Like, what does having a lover mean to you? Whoa.
Okay, that was 2 questions. That was, well, hang on, back it up. So what was the first one? Sorry, I was like,
what have you defined a lover as?
Okay. Oh, so everything that is. Let's
just
change that. Choose to let it go.
There's really this energy of not allowed. Now, we did an episode a few weeks back that was a question, are you allowed? So for those of you who've not really played with that particular week's topic, I invite you to check that replay out. It was all about really breaking through those places that we have just absolutely stopped ourselves and really created that forbiddenness for us to play with different areas and questions of our lives. So that kind of feeds into this. Are you allowed to have a lover? Are you allowed to be a lover? And so what does having a lover mean to you?
There is so much energy on that.
Wow.
So all the lifetimes of that lover, whatever that is, yeah. Holy smokes.
That's so interesting. Now, part of what Rhonda and I are talking about is the energy we're perceiving. So as we're saying this, for some of you, this could be landing in different ways. You might just have it could be a really mental energy that you're picking something up as. You could be feeling something like really bubbly, weird, different, or cool in your body or in certain parts of your body, your big toe or your right ear. There's no wrong way to perceive energy. So I'm just letting you know that if you haven't played with us before, part of what you'll hear us say quite a bit is, whoa, there's some interesting energy on that, or, oh my God, that's such an interesting energy, or what is that energy? And that's part of what we're looking at, is playing with the energy, because what we know, what we're aware of, is that everything shows up as an energy. And when we're acknowledging that, or willing to acknowledge that, there's actually more information that can be available to us. And then that information shows up in physical form.
Yeah, and let me just pipe in right here.
Yeah.
What I love about the energy, because for the longest time, I denied the fact that I could speak energy better than I can speak most anything. And I have a pretty awesome vocabulary. I love to speak languages. Like, I'm a total word nerd too, and a cunning linguist. I love it. But I love the fact that when it comes to figuring things out or fixing things or creating solutions, if our minds could figure everything out and create success that way, we would never have an issue. So I love that Access Consciousness teaches that, if you bypass what's the cognitive linear logical stuff and you get to the energy that's really there, and clear that, then you can unlock things, because our mind just goes to the reference points of what we already know, what we might have, cognitive access to. So that's why I play in energy, and I choose it because we're all energetic beings. And for me, I just had to practice. I had to trust myself and be willing to be seen as weird. But guess what? It's what makes Keisha and I fucking rock stars when it comes to changing stuff, clearing stuff, working with bodies, changing business, doing all the things that we do. If we didn't trust and utilize what we have available to us, we'd just be like everybody else. So I'm going to just challenge each and every one of you. If you haven't been willing to play with energy and choose to be the energy communicator, receiver, whatever you want to fill in the blank. But if you haven't been choosing it for yourself, I'm going to invite you and challenge you. Like, would you be willing to do more? Because watch how quickly you get information. Watch how quickly you get your asks answered. And
oh my gosh,
crazy town, I tell you.
Wow. And I think you just kind of tapped that nail on the head, so to speak. It's how much are we willing to perceive the energy of our life? Like, what do we desire? When you are talking about your wish lists or your vision boards, right, or your your life goals, however you want to put that, how willing are we? And really, we're not taught this, so I'm totally aware that it could just be like this really wacky concept, and for some of us it's been made even like woo-woo. That's woo-woo stuff, but energy is energy, folks. So there's really no way around that. And there's really nowhere that you can go that energy isn't. So I know that word gets really used a lot, and it can become a little bit of an ear sore. And at the same time, it's just one of those realities. It's just energy is, and energy behaves by responding. And so how willing have you been to play with the energy of your life? And I wonder if we could be playing with the energy more, acknowledging it, and then also really looking at what energy is fun for us. So some energies, name some energies. What are we talking about? Energies?
Vibrancy, joy, bliss, ecstasy, luxury, kindness, gratitude, peace, yes, fierceness. I mean, those are just the things that pop out right now.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, so these are energies, and for this week, would you maybe be willing to start to ask questions for yourself about what is the energy that I desire to create my life as? And that might sound really big, and it also might sound really vague. And I'm going to invite you, if you have any of those points of view come up, I'm just going to invite you to choose beyond those for 5 minutes and see what you discover. So when we say, okay, we went to this lovely gathering the other day where, of course, Rhonda was one of the participants. Actually, she was a facilitator. And for a portion of the time together, we did these really cool, like a vision board. Some people did a good vision, just good old-fashioned vision board, and others of us did some other things. And so what kind of really popped for me was to play with what I call my priorities, or the energies that I really desire to be creating my life from and as and in. And some really interesting stuff came up, and I brought that home, and I did a funny little, was it funny? I don't know.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was definitely fun. With all the words, and then I drew all kinds of little decorations around all the words, and I just kind of created this collage-y sort of piece. And I brought it home, and I've put it up where I see it every morning as the first thing I'm looking at. And I will say, it's a way of, if any of you are familiar with those mezuzahs, that's the little pieces that are placed on the door in the Jewish culture, in some of the Jewish cultures, the pieces that are placed on the door frame. And when you are coming and going, you actually touch it. And it's very much like that. It's like I'm having that touch of those, I'm touching into those energies. And it really is very interesting what begins to show up when you just even start to very basically identify energies or things that you just desire, whether you call them energies or whether you're identifying them as energies. You could say, I really desire to have steak dinner. Okay, well, that's energy showing up as a certain thing, and that's cool too. So what are the things you would like to have more of in your life? So what comes up for you, Rhonda?
Well, I'm looking over at my inspiration board, and it makes me very happy. Hang on, I just dropped my pen. And I look at the energy, right? It's not, I didn't cut out rings and blings and cars, but the energy is so apparent. And I look at it and it has an elegance to it. It has a vibrancy to it. It is a reflection of what I desire. So at any point that I'm not there, I can look over there and remind myself, and I can ask a different question. So what I wanted to, hang on, I'm going to bend down. This is bugging me. What I wanted to touch on, so going back to the love affair thing, there's this kind of like, so if some people don't even know what that's like, or they have this thing about love, or they're single and they think they don't want to be like in an affair, like there's all this crazy town that I'm picking up on. So everything that is, I'm going to acknowledge it. And again, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to let that go. We're going to set it aside for right now. What I would invite you to know is, if you've ever been truly, joyfully happy, I mean, to the point, like, it didn't matter if your house was blowing off the stilts. It didn't matter. You were like, hey, it's all good. And now whether you were in a quote unquote relationship with someone or not, but if I would invite you to tap into that space, whether it's this lifetime or any other, I just went crazy town. You're like, I don't remember my other lifetimes. Be willing to trust and know that there has been even the smallest, slightest space for you, and having that level of joy and vibrancy. Our body physiologically releases hormones into our bodies when we're in that state. I can't remember it's not serotonin. Is serotonin one of them? Anyway, I don't have my sciencey facts together. I apologize. But you can look it up. So our body secretes and creates these amazing hormones when we are in that state. And so it helps us sustain more of that, and it helps us create more of that, and it helps us invite more of that. So even if you don't have a reference point for being in a love affair, would you be willing to ask to feel better and to see what shows up, and you can try it on for yourself. See if you like it, right? Are you willing to have a love affair with yourself and your life, regardless of what anybody else is choosing or doing? Does that make sense?
I love that. Yeah.
Serotonin is the uplifting hormone. Yes, it's the calming. I think it's so there's a lot that's secreted.
Yeah. There's a cocktail, really.
It's a Molotov cocktail. It feels good, right?
In a good way, yes.
and so, go.
Well, this part of this, one of the questions that came up is like, how willing are we? So for each of us, let's ask the question just for ourselves.
Truth.
How willing am I, yes, to actually have a lover? Like, are you willing to receive being adored, being liked, being desired, being lusted over, being something that excites someone or something else? And what I'm aware of, dopamine, yep. What I'm aware of, too, is that for me, I'll speak for me, for a long time, I actually wasn't. Even though I was saying, I'm ready, I want, I desire, I blah, blah, blah. When I would kind of sit down with that and just really be with that energy of those possibilities, I wasn't really willing. So
I have a
jump.
Universe, please show me the lover you truly be.
Ooh.
I don't need nobody else to be my lover until I'm willing to be a lover for myself. The universe is everything, right? It's all inclusive, and the universe is very friendly. But that just popped on the page. Universe, please show me the lover you truly be to me.
Ooh.
I wonder what that might create, friends. Holy smokes.
I'm liking that.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was a little excited.
Juicy. That's juicy. And so are you willing to do this, folks? This is part of what if your life could be your lover. It's like, are you willing to go to the places and explore? And a lot of the stories that we've seen, a lot of the stories that are represented about having a lover, they are those really like edgy kind of like, I think for a lot of us, when you hear the word lover, that's more of that erotic, exotic kind of energy. It's not your husband or your wife or your partner, you know. But what if you were willing to let your husband, your wife, your partner be your lover? And what if you were willing to let your life be your lover? And as Rhonda was saying, I wonder if that's one of those first steps, like if that's the threshold, if that's the door that is when we are willing to open it, that's the door through which the universe can deliver everything that truly turns us on. All of us, all the fun spots, all the erogenous zones, all of the excitement, all of the spiritual parts, all of it. Okay. Woo!
So all of the naysayers that are like, they have lined up energetically, like
everywhere you got your mama
can't
or
be
your
possible.
grandma.
I can't have happiness. I can't have joy. I can't have the level of enthusiasm that crazy bitch has. It's not possible. So all of the naysayers, I'm going to line you up and I'm going to bazooka each and every one of you out of existence because it's bullshit, people. And I'm telling you, like, we're not always, it's not always like the greatest love affair type moment, but when you string together, like, then the overarching notes are the love affair, right? And the low spots, the low notes, they don't last as long. They don't take as long to change. They create clarity. It's astounding. So I did some 1, 2, 3s back here because I'm like, no, we're not going to buy the lie anymore. We're not going to perpetrate the lies. This is possible. Now, and identify for yourselves. Do you desire, life to be your lover? Do you desire the universe to be your lover? Do you desire to have a love affair with your life? If you don't, then I suggest you move on.
This would not be the conversation.
This is not the conversation for you.
Yeah. So everywhere you're trying to be your grandma or your grandpa or your aunt,
holy smokes.
All of the people that you have heard say, or that you didn't even have to hear them say it. I mean, how aware are we, right? Everyone whose points of view you've adopted and adapted over your lifetime because you were just being a good person and you were, being caring for them and being understanding for them and all of that. And in the meantime, you've been, what that also created was you were shutting off the fountain, the faucet of what truly gave you the sustenance. Would you be willing, even just for the remainder of this conversation or perhaps the remainder of this week, would you be willing to allow yourself to acknowledge those places? And when you catch yourself having that thought, just let it go. Identify that it might not be yours. Oh, I don't really think that way. I don't really believe that. I actually know that's not true for me, whatever the case may be. And would you be willing to just choose beyond that point of view and see what can show up for you?
That exercise requires a level of presence and a level of honesty with yourself, that if you're willing to be that present in your life, stuff will change faster than you can even imagine. Absolutely. And just a reminder, if you're picking up on something or you have a thought and it's not a light thought for you, it's probably not true for you. If it's heavy and it makes you feel bad, like, it's probably not yours to begin with, because that which is true for us lights us up. So whether it's fava beans for breakfast or so funny that show, whatever, like, my body says that she wants something. I go, what? But it's light. I'm like, okay. Right. So there you go. My mind's all over the place.
Well, and see, so I know that there could be the question, so what does this have to do with blah, blah, blah? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the show, Sexually Speaking. Mm-hmm. And where we desire to be inviting you to play is with more of the energies of sex. And so part of what I'm kind of getting is when we're willing to really explore that, more does become accessible to us. More of us actually becomes accessible to us. So part of this, I think, speaks to also, or part of what is included in playing with this would be, how have you created your identity so far?
Ooh, good question.
And have you created your identity to be um, restrictive of the energies that actually could create more for you. The energies of sex, the energies of expansion, the energies of kindness, the energies of joy and gratitude and vulnerability and honoring and trusting, and not necessarily anyone else. These are toward you. So if you've created an identity for yourself that is, you play by the rules, you put others first, you don't get too full of yourself, that could be, if that's working for you, awesome. And if it's not working for you, I have a sense that you're more likely going to be finding conversations like these. And so what I wonder is, would you be willing to begin to play with how you've created your identity that might possibly have locked the possibilities for life to be your lover outside of your world? Did I say that in English?
You totally did, and I'm laughing at Eleanor, who put in the chat room, so nothing changes with avoidance. She's calling herself out now.
Yay, Eleanor!
Avoidance is one energy, sure, yeah. And here's the thing. If your being somewhere in the universe, if your being wants you to get to someplace different, you can avoid it all you want, but it will continue to show up. Whatever the thing is, right? It'll continue to show itself. It'll continue to eat. Like eventually you'll get to it. And that's the beauty. Like you will get to anything and everything when the time is right. So that's the beauty. Like the whole force thing doesn't work. Like how much ease are we willing to have? She knows. Of course she knows. Yeah. Funny girl. Oh, believe me, I avoided some stuff. I'm really good at resisting too. I like, oh my gosh, that's another show.
Played that game. Yeah.
So thank you for that, Keisha. As you were talking, I was taking down some qualities, and what I noticed, and I'll notice this for myself, and I notice it about other people that I know. When you choose to have this level of this love affair with yourself, with your life, and these are some qualities that tend to show up. There's a level of presence. There's a level of kindness, as these are attributes instead you mentioned, but there's a level of confidence, and it's a magnetizing quality, and people don't know why they want to hang out with you or look at you or listen to you or read your stuff. They don't know, but they feel better. They feel compelled to kind of lean in, because so many people are not in the world with all these energies and are enjoying life. Right? How many people don't actually enjoy their lives? So I would just ask you, like, do you want more of that? Do you want people to lean in? Do you want more connection? Do you desire to have playmates that also are confident and joyful and easeful and playful? Or what? Identify whatever that is for yourself. But I will say I was asking for those type things, but it took me doing the work, if you will, playing with, changing it. And then when I have, it's like, oh, it showed up as if by magic, because I was choosing to have a love affair with myself and my life, with the universe, and with the people that come up and play with me every day. Did that make any sense?
Yeah. And I wonder how many of us have made that list. Now, this could be more women than men, but how many of us have made that list of like the lover we desire to show up, right?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of the personal development and self-help and self-improvement classes and courses and movements, there's that, okay, make the list, just like sort of making the vision board, making the inspiration board. And I love inspiration board. I love that name, that energy. So how many of you have made a list of like the person you would love to show up? Okay. I've played that. And so I wonder if you'd be willing to make a list about your life. If you'd be willing to make a list of the life you would like to show up. And think of somebody that you admire. Like, who is a public figure that you look at and you're like, that, you see that energy, and you don't even have to hear them speak. You can maybe you see them and they automatically represent, or they instantaneously reflect for you something, a quality, a characteristic, an energy, a value, a vibration that you desire. Right. That you can identify with, that really brings you some sort of comfort or adds value to your experience. And I wonder if those people could be examples for us also of people who are allowing their lives to be their lovers. Mm-hmm. If you imagine, what does a lover do? When you're being a lover, what do you want to do as a lover? You want to like shower that person with gifts. You want to show them your affection. You want to demonstrate that affection, whether that's preparing them breakfast or maybe doing their laundry. I know that might not be very sexy for some people, but maybe doing, draw them a bath and actually bathe
acts of service. If
all of these expressions. Yeah. And how many times do we want to give them gifts? We're out shopping for somebody or for ourselves, but we end up wanting to buy all these things for our person that we adore, Yeah. It's like, what if our lives are like that? What if there's like so much that they have to offer us that we could simply be willing to receive if we were willing to let those energies bubble and move and ebb and flow and be ignited and excited and activated in us? And so what are you afraid of? Wow, for me, I would say what comes up is the publicity. Like having a public life is kind of terrifying and at the same time really exciting for me.
Cool. Yeah. So everything that is, let's
just destroying and creating it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you look at what's under that, because again, that's been mine and at some point, and yet there's something I love very much about being known, because I have gifts that I want to share. Right. But if you look under that, what I see for myself under that level is the lie that we're not powerful enough, potent enough to create anonymity when we need it, protection, like all the stuff that comes up, right? Like I can create anything I fucking want to, excuse my language. I can create anything I want. If I want it bad enough, it's going to happen. So that's the lie. So I would invite folks that when something comes up for you, just look for what's underneath. Like show me the lie in this, or show me what's underneath this is a great question to play with.
I love that. Yeah. So we're kind of, thank you, everybody. Your willingness to go to these places is part of what allows us to be able to pull these pieces up and acknowledge them and have conversation like this. And I'm so grateful to get to have these conversations. Really, the gift of this willingness that you are being here and that we are being is that we get to actually discover something about ourselves with each other. And I just I'm feeling drawn to acknowledge that. I'm so grateful that you are choosing to share your time with us and your willingness with us and your curiosity with us. And this is a part of how we create and co-create. And so where can we be doing this with our life this week? Mm-hmm. And what are some tools, Rhonda, that we can
Holy smokes. Well, we've asked a lot of questions. And I will, we will, in the email that comes out with the replay link, we will type these out so that you can actually have them, because there's been a lot here. I think first and foremost, hang on, so for me, I have to be it, and I really don't think I can really sustain taking good care of myself. So all of the projections, expectations, and judgments in that, let's first and foremost destroy and create, just choose to let those go. And all the lies in that, same thing, destroy and uncreate all those. And so cool. Hey, body. Hey, universe, would you please show me what it would be like to actually love, honor, adore, and cherish me? Like, that's a great place to start.
I love
Just
that.
Ask the question. See, again, like, so from a tool perspective, none of this has to be done with force or effort or difficulty. Like, one of my primary targets is ease, people. Like, fast, ease, play. Those are three of my main targets. So if you desire, so first and foremost, tip number one, get present with what you actually desire. That's yours, not someone else's, what's yours. So with that list that Keisha mentioned, this is, Gary Douglas identifies this as shop for your reality. So, oh, I like what that person's doing over there. I like that energy over there. It's like going to a buffet and trying the buffet and determining what really works for you and your body, right? You try, you don't love it all. You pick and choose. So pick and choose from what you're aware of, identify, and then make really sure that that's what you desire. So get present and determine, acknowledge what you truly desire. That's first and foremost. That's what I would have you play with. And then really begin to acknowledge how you choosing more of that makes you feel. How's your body feel? Is it more vibrant? Is it less vibrant? Is it more energized? Is it less energized? Are you attracting fun people? Not so fun people? That's two places I would start.
Okay, so look at, I was doing number two.
Get present with
got number one, get present.
Yep. And
So
then number two, acknowledge how making the choices from that list. So as you implement and ask for the energies and the things to show up from that list, notice how it feels for you. So it's like trying on the clothing. So let's say you go and you buy the clothing and you bring it home and you start to wear it. Is it making you feel better or not? Is it pumping you up or not? So you got to try this stuff on, because that's how we create contrast and clarity as to what's really for us. And believe me, I'm going through this process every single day because I am constantly changing and asking for more. And so when something may have fit a year ago, and I don't just mean clothing, I mean an energy, a person, I'm willing to let it go if it no longer continues to like expand my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect.
Love that.
Yeah.
Woo. Oh my goodness, friends. We are tapping a massive mother volcano here. So if you're feeling like WTF, just know that that's wherever you are with this, just could you be willing to give yourself permission to just play with it? None of what we talk about has to be serious. This is not like a quiz that, if you don't have your answers by next Tuesday's showtime, you get demerits, or we send people to your house to I don't know, do silly things. So just know that it's really just about your willingness to play and let yourself have your awareness. And this is not something that is typically done. This is not the norm. This is not the conventional methodology. We totally get that. And that's part of why we like to have these conversations. So if anybody has any questions, please do type them into the chat. You can also send them privately to myself and Rhonda if you go through the Q&A. And I wonder too, would you be willing to add, once you play with these two items, would you also be willing to add some things that excite your body to your life this week? And would you be willing to do something you may not have done, in the privacy of your own home? You don't have to do this when anyone else is there. And if you live alone, how does it get, even better to play with those kinds of things? So would you be willing to do something like, if your body is kind of showing you an energy of self-pleasuring, would you be willing to play with that? If your body's showing you an energy of cooking in the nude, would you be willing to play with that? If your body is showing you an energy of taking a bath with a particular type of bath salt or oils, would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to get a massage? Would you be willing to wear a silk scarf? Would you be willing to sleep in the nude? Would you be willing to, whatever your body's showing you, buy yourself a bouquet of flowers, buy yourself a fine cigar. It's like whatever your body is whatever you're perceiving that your body is trying to show you, would you be willing to begin to choose that in whatever increments are comfortable and fun for you? And I wonder if you could allow that to be something, if you find that to be a bit exciting for you and your body, would you allow that to be a part of how you create, a part of how your life is showing up for you? And would you be willing to receive the generativeness of it? And if what I'm saying makes no sense at all, Would you be willing to trust that somewhere in your universe, it's landing, it's registering, and you can actually play with this week? And it will show up for you.
Absolutely. I love this silk scarf naked, Eleanor. Absolutely. That's awesome. So break it down. Let's go basic. Let's go back to foundation. Like,
there you go.
I want to feel better. I want to have fun. I want to have a vibrant, thriving body. I want to have a vibrant, thriving business. I want a happy, healthy home life with my son. Like, right? Basics. So what do I got to be and do to have that?
There you go.
So, and that's me having a love affair with my life and my body and my business and my, right? So it's like, we don't got to make, I don't know where New Jersey Ted just came in, New Jersey Ned, but hello, that's so funny, right? It's like, it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, use the language that works for you and ask the questions in the way that it works for you. But if you're not willing to ask and acknowledge where you are and where you want to be, and then like let the universe show you. So here's a fun little story. So I went on a walk this morning, and people, it's hot down in here in Texas. It is bloody freaking hot, but it doesn't matter. Body said, go. So I just go and I just follow where she wants me to go. And I started asking, okay, universe, please show me all the places and spaces and that I'm not, because I'm asking for some stuff right now. I said, I am open to the clues, cues, signs, and symbols you send me. I literally looked down at that minute, and let me show you. I got them in a baggie. I saw a spark plug first, and then I saw this big old huge, I think it's a bolt, right? Yeah. So I'm like, and it just lit me up. Now, I haven't, like, because that just happened this morning. I'm like, I know that's from you, universe. So I made my, 2.5 mile loop, and I came back and I picked them up because they were the first thing. It just makes me giggle, right? So anywhere you don't think that you asking the universe, God, Allah, Abraham, whoever, if you don't think that you asking a question will show you something, I'm here to tell you it happens instantaneously now, because I'm willing to have a love affair with the universe, and I'm willing to have it. So that just, my goodies wanted to show themselves to you. I don't know. Maybe next week I'll tell you what they meant. Hell, I don't know.
There you go. I love it. And so here's a question we could play with every day this week. Would you be willing to play with this question when you wake up, or when it just comes into your awareness and you actually remember it? I wonder, we're going to use the wonder tool. I wonder how my life could show up today in an exciting way for me.
I wonder how my life...
Now, if you really want to get saucy and sexy and bold and daring, here's another version of that question. What would it be like to be having sex with my life today? What would it be like to be having sex with my life today? So when we're talking about having sex, yes, you can go visual, and it could be physical, and it's also about receiving. So it really is going to tweak those energetic devices, mechanisms. And what we're inviting is, how much are you willing to receive from your life today?
Those are juicy, Keisha. I wrote them down. They will be in the email. And what I'm getting is lots, but if you're not at full on penetration, how about foreplay? How about, because what I saw was in terms of having sex with, let's say if I have a lover, the whole process of flirtation and coy and the dance and the game. And then it could be, laughing and it's not just full on going for the goods, right? But it's the whole process. So it's all the foreplay is what showed up. So it's would you guys willing to have foreplay, for heaven's sake?
I wonder if that's the thing that we've created as this discrepancy between a lover and someone else. Is the lover is who we're willing to have the foreplay with.
Oh, yeah, because you just do the deed, right? How much foreplay versus doing the deed. Oh, yes. Wow.
So what if life could be the foreplay? What if you were willing to be having the foreplay? And whatever that means for you, on whatever given day. Woo! That's juicy. Okay, I'm going to be playing with that this week.
We just cracked open another spot. Oh, I love it. I love it. Ooh, we're going to play with that one. That's juicy.
We so are.
Brilliant.
We so are.
Unconventional conversations, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
This. Oh my goodness. So everywhere you've been unwilling to actually have the foreplay.
Huge hard on now. Yes.
Yeah.
Willing to have a hard on for life, baby.
Totally. Like, what if you could be a walking, talking erection for life, right? Walking, talking, whatever erection you could be a penile erection, you could be a labia erection, your clitoral erection. We're not, there's no prejudice here.
Get juicy, ladies, get juicy. I'm just saying.
Let it flow. And what if you could be that with your whole life and allow that to include your partner, your whoever that is showing up as, for some of us on whatever given day. And what if none of that was a reason to be wrong? Could you receive the enjoyment of all of that? And I definitely want to play with that distinction, because that is something huge. Like, that's some weird little programming. Well, it's quite big, actually, because it created a big mess in a lot of people's lives.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Holy smokes. We blow through 56 minutes like it's 2. I'm just like, holy crap, we're done? What?
I know.
Shut up. That's not fun.
It cannot be over. No.
And what if, like, being these energies and asking questions and choosing and playing and being all of this, like, what could that contribute to your life and the stuff that you may want to go faster? Okay, what does this have to do with anything? It's just fun. Like, are you willing to have this much fun? Are you willing to have life go that fast? That's it. Are you willing to be that level of intensity and vibrancy and vitality and fun and Like, if you're not, cool, don't choose it. If you are, keep playing with us. There you go.
Well, yeah. And if we want to get, like, literal metaphor, sometimes with the intercourse, with the copulation, we like it slow and drawn out and sweet. And sometimes we do not want to mess around with all that extra stuff. We just go hard.
Bring it, baby. Up against the wall. Let's do it. Yeah.
So all of these, would you be willing to have this with your life?
Yes.
Okay.
Hands up.
Woo! Yes, what would it be like to be having sex with your life today?
And by your life, it includes you, and it includes your body. You are included in all of that. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah.
All right, folks.
Thank you, Keisha. That was fun.
Thank you for having sex with me.
And thank you, everybody in the chat room with us. Yes. Thank you so much for showing up to play today. If we did not touch on something, or you want more information, or you need clarity, or you require something, do not hesitate to let Keisha or I know. You can respond, conversationswithkr@gmail.com. That's the fastest and easiest way to get to us. We're also both on Facebook individually right now, but we're accessible. Do not hesitate to reach out. We desire that these conversations contribute to you enjoyably and generatively, and that you have a life that you truly can be in love with. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? Reach out. Rhonda has some cool stuff going on. Come play with us on the radio shows live. If you're in a place, I know a lot of people have been asking for, how can I have facilitation, and how does it not cost a fortune and all of that? And so, yes, interesting points of view. And we have opportunities for you to play with and to play for free. The radio shows are a great way to come get some more facilitation, get some more awareness, have some more fun with us. If nothing else, have some more fun with us. Yeah. And maybe with other people that show up, and you never know how connections can be made there. And Rhonda, Rhonda has availability. You are working with people, even though you're going through your rebranding, restructuring.
I have a few spots that I will put people in. I can either do one-offs, or they can buy 4 packs, and that's all going through change. So my pricing will be going up, but just reach out. And again, I would rather prefer that somebody get what they require. I don't make it difficult for people to work with me, but we go fast. Like people, you don't work with me if you want to work with somebody for 6 months. Like, I don't take that long. I mean, you're done.
So, and I have a summer special going on, 20 minutes for $20. If you want to play with that, again, A lot can happen in a short amount of time. Neither of us buy into the point of view that it has to be talked about ad infinitum and blah blah blah. What
Right.
we know is that the energy can change like this, and so can your life. So, wow. Thank you
So
so
grateful.
much. Thank you so much. Rhonda, any parting words?
Just if the YouTube channel has all of what we've done so far. This is episode 11, I believe. Holy smokes, how does it get any better? We are creating a class. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but it's being created. So just stay tuned. We will let you know. And just grateful, friends. Thank you for being courageously and pioneeringly different and being willing to create a life that you do actually like, love, and can be really, excited about. So thank you. I'm really grateful. And thank you, Keisha, for being my posse and riding with me and having so much fun with me.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And for all of you, may your week be filled with amazing surprises. Play with the questions, unless of course you don't want anything to change, in which case don't. And join us again next week for more unconventional conversations to unfuck your life as we celebrate all things sex and the sex of everything here on Sexually Speaking with Keisha Clark and Rhonda Burns. I adore you, my friend, and I adore each of you. Thank you for coming to play with us.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.